throw my hands up in the air sometimes, saying, hey, yo, baby, let's go. What's up, guys? I'm on my way to Absolute Defiance's trial, day 3. I may not be live for the whole thing, but at least when I'm going into the entrance, I will be recording because I don't know what's going to happen, and I need to give them notification that I'm recording. My notification really is just holding my goddamn camera up. And this should be another shit show circus trial. So stay tuned. I don't plan on going live when I get there, but we will see what the quality is like. You guys are gonna have to give me updates while I head in, because last time I was in there it didn't look good, so it's probably not gonna look good today. Jump to John D. Nicola, Anna, cammed up caveman. What's up, you? Brian and the twins, y'all, for the record. What'd you guys think of the thumbnail? I used Mid-Journey to make it. I love using the AI art. If you guys don't know about this trial, Absolute Defiance, aka Footloose, aka Frank Staples, is he was arrested for saying amen, and yeah, that's it. He was arrested for that. It's a shit show, and this should be a really interesting day because the complainant of this, the one that initiated the arrest of Footloose, was the governor. So we're trying to get he's trying to get the governor on the stand. If we can get the governor on the stand, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. We'll see how it happens, see what happens. Yeah, Governor Sununu. Governor Chris Sununu. If he doesn't take the stand, they have to throw this whole trial out. I'm telling you right now. There's no way. There's no way this can continue unless they have him on the stand. Should be a big day. Shandu! I don't know. What does that even mean, guys? Do you even know what that means? I don't know what it means. What's up, Kay Stevenson? Donald, how are you? Running just a couple minutes too late, but it'll be fine. I might miss a couple swears. I'm wearing my fuck you, you don't do what you tell me shirt. It's my court shirt. almost there, guys. You'll at least see me go through security on this one. See how they treat me. Usually they're pretty good. Sometimes they're standoffish. I got lucky. I got the green light this time. Usually you can stop at this light. Oh, look at that. Just in time. Oh, it's a busy day here for sure. Holy cow. A lot of cars here. Holy cow. Can I even find a parking spot? Got one. It's kind of far, but got it. I got my body cam today, just in case. All right, guys. Here we go. Should I get this in here? Looks like this. I got nothing in my pockets I can't bring in, you know what I'm saying? I know how that goes. Yeah, look at the pretty busy lot today. Usually don't see this many people. There's other cases going on too, so I understand. How's it going? Don't take a plea, okay?
What's that?
Don't take a plea.
Oh, no.
Fight it all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Got an officer over there, it looks like. Hello. Can we put it through? All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Just a battery pack. Okay. Body cam here.
Thank you. Anything else in your pockets?
Just the belt, and that's
Keep the belt on, please. There you go, sir.
Appreciate it. Have a good day, guys.
No, she said it was continued because child of parents. Oh, no, yeah, they called it. And I was like, because Ashley the other day mentioned that she got a discovery request, so I handed over my arraignment packet to her.
So I think I need to notarize the petition, you signed that, that's fine.
No, but they called it.
Signed that, that's right. You put your ID on it?
And actually, I explained that.
Does he get served? How does that work?
So you share.
I can go get another copy if
Start
you
out
need.
with, let's see where it is, what it says. Start out by signing the left one.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a one-page letter that says, hey, this petition.
Yeah, no, they did call the case.
He had so many days to come in and accept service. We wait out that 10 days, we probably give him about 15. If he doesn't come in, we send packets out to you with instructions on how to go about having service. And your choices are certified mail restricted delivery or sheriff. If it doesn't come in on our list, you're better off doing the sheriff.
Yeah, it's right on my writing pad, gave it to her.
That was the original one?
Certified mail.
But yeah. Paper complaint. Think we're good? Alright. No, can you get me my mail?
He's not always at the house because he stays at his girlfriend's house. So does that play a factor at all? Like,
Well, the letter's gonna go to the address you gave us.
okay,
Have a good one.
all right. I just didn't know if like, I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, it'll go to the.
Hello.
you gave us.
Yeah, I'm just notifying the court that I'm recording.
It's also going to keep us updated on a current event.
Thank you.
Someone tell me if the phone call, like when I file. Okay.
You hear that, guys?
Anxiety goes.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It's like, don't record.
When it comes to that. By the time we get around to go, hey, this guy never came in.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
But emotionally, finally, things
All right, they're notified. All right, you guys gotta tell me what the quality is gonna be like when I go up here. They still got that sign up. Hello, how are you? Hey, Bill.
He's already yelling.
I know. Wait.
And text the whole time, which I caught on video.
Well, Mr. Staples,
Excuse me.
the state knows.
Of course they did. I said, where's Trooper Provenza? Where's Trooper Provenza? You're telling me they didn't know I was calling Trooper. I tried to call him that day. I tried to call Trooper Provenza the first day.
Mr. Staples,
So don't tell me they didn't know I was going to call him.
Mr. Staples, please come.
No, I'm not going to calm down because you don't make no sense. None of this makes any sense. How was Trooper Provenza allowed to stay in during the sequestration?
Mr. Staples, your motion for mistrial is respectfully denied. Please proceed.
Why?
As I recall it, we were present here on March 17th, and we had to stop at the end of the day. The state was in the middle of cross-examining Patricia Jorgensen. Do you want to resume with that?
I do, Your Honor, but briefly, I think the court has made this point, but witness was after the first day of trial. The first day of trial was the 10th. I did not have a witness list for him. I did not have any notice for him that TV had called Provenza. I had provided him with a witness list. Trooper Provenza was not on the witness list, and as I explained to the court, and as we clearly made clear to the defendant, Trooper Provenza was here essentially as an IT person to help us run videos and all that. He made a decision at some point in time that he wanted to call Trooper Provenza, then put him on the list that he provided us prior to the start of the 17th, and then he called him as a witness. We weren't intending to call him, so sequestration does not apply. We gave him notice we intended to call him. We called exactly who we intended to call. So that's our point.
Your Honor, if I may, he was a witness. He's the one that wrote all the tickets. So obviously he was a witness and he should have been on the witness list. And I was asking, where is this guy all day? And why isn't he on the witness list? So
Mr. Staples, they didn't call Trooper Provenza as a witness.
I understand that. And that was a way of allowing him to stay in the room and text the other people what the testimony was.
There's no evidence.
Of course there is. It's on his phone.
All right, Mr.
The evidence is on my camera as well.
Mr. Staples, you were in the process of having a witness, Ms. Jorgensen, testify. She was being subject to cross-examination Ms. Jorgensen.
Let's see if she's out there. Jorgensen, yeah. If she's out there, I don't know. So you're not going to allow any of my witnesses that are natural persons that are not subject to the exclusionary order?
The witnesses that you disqualified there's an exemption or an exception to that rule for natural persons. Is there not? You don't know that?
You don't know
Rule
because you don't know the
615, you want me to
rules.
pull it up?
That man there, you do not make spontaneous utterances.
Learn the real rules of court.
Yeah.
Have that man removed.
Well,
He's right. Learn the rules. You don't know Rule 615? You want me to pull it up? You want me to pull it up? Do you have a book?
Ms. Jorgensen.
I don't know. Is she here?
No, no, sir, she's not here.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Am I allowed to call,
Do you have a motion? All right. Ms. Jorgensen's testimony is struck in its entirety. Call your witness.
Jonathan Harmon?
Guys, share the stream. It's been pretty clear that there's been witness tampering in this whole case, and the judge is denying his motion for mistrial.
No Jonathan Harmon either. Deb Budd, Rich Budd? Deb Budd or Rich Budd? And then, I had someone that was gonna be here today, and they had surgery recently. They were not able to make it. The Honorable, Bob Guida. He asked if it could be, he could testify after, April 15th. Like, make a motion. This is, Bud, this is Rich Budd. Correct. Okay. They're gonna ask you some questions.
Sir, watch your step. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Please have some. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Richard Budd, B-U-D-D.
Morning.
Wonderful.
Preliminary questions. Have you watched any of the videos of the first day of this proceeding or the second day of this proceeding? Have you spoken to any of the witnesses who have previously testified about this case?
No.
Have you talked to any of the witnesses who you think may be called about this case?
No.
Please proceed. Sir, thank you for coming out today. And where were you sitting approximately in the room when during the meeting?
Well, as the panel looked at us, like this here, I was in the left section, actually where you and Teresa were. We were across the aisle to the left, probably not more than 12 feet away from you in the straight arrow, but just next side of the aisle. I was about the fourth seat down, I think, to the right, to the left. Okay, not far at all. You could see you when I leaned forward, you could see you and Teresa, I could see that area. You were probably a row back of us to the left.
What do you recall for disturbances of the meeting that day, if any?
Okay, that day, as we were walking in the building, I didn't notice so much, but my wife did. As we were getting out of the parking lot, walking up on that building, I see it was a police academy and that kind of thing, but we noticed kind of a lot of state troopers, a lot of that type activity. And it just actually allowed me to bother us a little, bothered my wife. It intimidated her from even going in, because she, as she discussed later, that it seemed to be like kind of a setup for her. It was uncomfortable, but we got inside and
Your Honor, just a caution with respect to issues of hearsay, this appears to be operating in a state of life.
Sir, if you could limit your
okay.
testimony to observations that you made and opinions that you might have formed, okay?
Okay, absolutely. So, we get in the building, and that's where I observed there was a lot of police present, and it was very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. My wife didn't even want to stay. That's what she conveyed to me. So anyway, when we were inside the building, we sat down, and it was all good. We were grateful for being able to go inside, get inside the building. And we started off, we did salute to the flag. I was pretty impressed that you got to do that. I'm surprised. And halfway through that, the people there, as us, it did get loud at the last half. We just, elevated our voice as one nation under God, indivisible. We did that. And I think it was Mr. Sanu who stated that tolerated, and I was shocked that he said anything about that. But,
Do you know what exactly he meant when he said that will not be tolerated?
Well,
Did he say anything specific? What would not be tolerated?
the outburst, or he referred to that as an outburst, and I thought like it was kind of passionate and nice, raising our voices to one nation under God. That was a nice thing. Even doing a pledge, I thought was good. So, no, I'm not sure what he meant by that. It just seemed to be a bit of an attitude right away. I wasn't sure about that. Didn't like that.
Do you ever recall any warnings given to anyone around you or the room in general about outbursts besides that from Sununu after that? Anything that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, it was fairly calm and quiet in there. As many people were in there. And there seemed to be more noise from the police shuffling around because they were, it just didn't seem to be a comfortable place with that much police present. There was an awful lot of police present.
And what was the ambient noise like in the room?
It was quiet. It was reasonably quiet. Like I say, quieter than you would think for having that kind of crowd in there that was, went there passionate about trying to conserve, spending money for the vaccines, etc.
And what was your objective there? Were you there to disrupt the meeting?
Not at all. No.
What were you waiting for?
I was waiting for a chance to be able to voice opinions or just make a presence as going against what they were trying to propose. They were trying to get a lot of money that would have strings attached, which I view definitely not a good thing for the state of New Hampshire. I saw it as another attack on freedoms and rights.
Did you ever hear anyone say, "Shut it down"?
I don't recall that, no.
How about "Amen"?
Yes.
How many times or how many people, was it just the once the "Amen"? Or do you know who said "Amen"?
No. I just thought I heard Amen.
At what point in the meeting do you think that was?
I'm not sure.
And what about yeah? Did anyone ever say yeah that you felt was disruptive?
No.
And how about the amen? When you heard amen, was there a warning from the executive council or any of the troopers about that?
I'm not even sure who said amen. It's just, I believe, I thought I heard amen is, that's what often Christian or godly people do, to say yes. You say amen is in agreement.
Okay.
So I didn't hear it shouted or anything like that.
And did you see when I got arrested or captured or taken out of the room?
No, not at all. In fact, I found that interesting because I didn't even know YouTube removed till afterwards, until it went up back, and then she, I think it was Teresa, something shouted about it being arrested. It was shocking. I never heard it, and you were so close. We were this distance away, and I not even seen him ask you to get up or leave or anything. And all I had to do was look to my left and notice that. So that was shocking to me.
So prior to you hearing the commotion from behind the curtain, was the meeting stopped in any way?
No.
Was it paused?
No.
Did the executive council or the governor say anything up until that point?
No.
And how about clapping? Did you ever hear any clapping? Do you recall that was like
No.
disruptive clapping?
No, there was nothing to clap about.
And would you be able to recognize my voice if you heard it?
Absolutely.
How would you describe my voice?
It's authoritative, it's loud, it's unique.
So, did you ever hear me say anything during the meeting prior to being pulled up behind?
Absolutely no.
you ever been to any, meetings like this before? Or, like, public meetings in general?
Like the one we were at,
Yes.
the legislative.
Any of, anything at like the State House or anything?
Yes.
Okay. And was this a normal meeting?
Seems so.
Seems, I mean, what about the time and place of the meeting?
Well, that wasn't normal at the police academy.
What about the amount of people there? Was that a normal amount of people for one of these things?
There seemed to be a lot of people. A lot of people I noticed couldn't get inside.
How many people couldn't get inside, do you think?
I thought I heard it was over 100.
Over 100 people stuck outside, not able to attend the public meeting. And
Mr. Staples, do you have any more questions?
I'm going through my notes, sir. Yes, I may have another question. Give me a second, please. Sorry, my stuff's a little. So, did you hear any loud or unreasonable noises, at any point during the meeting?
No, not at all. Like I said, other than the salute of the flag, it was very quiet in here.
Would you say it was unreasonable when we were singing the Pledge of Allegiance? It was such a loud group of people.
Well, it might have been unreasonable, elevating the volume towards the end of the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess that's a matter of opinion, but like I said, I kind of liked it. It showed passion, and I was grateful that we would
To
sing
you,
it.
so you think others might see it as unreasonable? Obviously, Sununu said something, right? So,
Others today can find fault in everything.
true. Well, how about yourself? What did you think?
I
about
didn't
it?
find a problem with it whatsoever. Like I said, I thought it showed passion. And I think when we were corrected for that, it could have been a little different. Like, instead of attacking, we could have said, well, please do not do that again. We appreciate your passion for the saluting of the flag, but don't do that again. Something like that. Instead of a threat.
Do you think that created a risk or a hazard to anyone when the Pledge of Allegiance was sung enthusiastically by the crowd? Because this is a disorderly conduct statute, and it's talking about people of reasonable sensibilities, and I would think that every citizen is a person of reasonable sensibilities.
Tell me your question again, Mr. Staples.
I'm not even sure if I remember it, to be honest. This is the problem. I said, did the singing of the Pledge of Allegiance seem to create a reckless risk?
Not at all, not at all.
I'll allow the question.
You know, like I said, I viewed it as the people, they were passionate. You know, they weren't elevating profanities or nothing like that. It was love for the country, each and all.
Okay. And at that point, had the meeting even begun?
That was basically the beginning of it.
you consider, Sununu's admonitions a lawful order?
I actually wouldn't know about that. I wouldn't think so.
And did you hear any, police officers give any lawful orders during the meeting at all that you heard?
No.
I think that should be good.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
I think that's, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Pott, thanks for being here. I have a few questions. All of them are Mr. Staples. First off, it sounds like you went to this meeting and you were with your wife.
Yes,
And you got there and you were with a group of people outside of the line.
yeah, we were there early.
And sort of follow up on the last things that Mr. Staples asked you. Do you have any memory at all of a female trooper standing in front of the crowd at some point in time and giving a statement basically saying, we appreciate you being here, however, if there are any outbursts or loud problems, we are going to arrest people for disorderly conduct? You have no memory of that?
No.
Okay, all right. So it is, with respect to what you heard and saw, you testified a little bit about the early part of the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you remember there was a brief interruption where, there was a brief break when someone spoke to the crowd from the floor as opposed to from the stage? You have no memory at all of a female trooper coming out and addressing the three rows, the three sections of the public.
I don't.
You don't, okay. You do recall at some point in time hearing someone say, amen.
I heard amen, it sounded like amen, whether it was somewhere to the left or right of me, or, like I say, that's a common thing mentioned as an agreement.
And then it sounds like you said that you heard, or you may have heard someone say in response to the amen, yeah, or something along the lines of. You didn't, like someone in agreement with that, like call in response, like, amen, yeah.
Not sure about that.
Not sure, okay.
Yeah.
In any event, from where I went,
I'm not even charged with saying yeah or amen. Objection, relevance, I'm not charged with saying amen or yeah.
What's the relevance?
I believe we've had testimony already about what prompted Trooper or Major Boy to then go on to Lieutenant Paul, sorry, and make arrangements to have this executive record, what it was that he said or did that caused that. Okay, so I think it's relevant to prior testimony. The witness is saying, you didn't hear him say it, so I'll just move on.
Well, I would state what was relevant to what happened was the meeting that happened a couple weeks before. That's what this was all about.
Okay, so were you at the meeting?
Sununu had a breakfast. And we were all allowed, we went to that too, because they were discussing it.
Okay, where was this? Where was this?
This was at, St. Anthony's College.
Okay, so you were saying, was that another governor executive council meeting?
Correct.
Okay, so what happened there? I thought you said, okay, please tell us about having gone to that.
Relevance, objection.
He's answering the question.
Well, what's the relevance of this?
He said he had
He's
an
had a meeting
what
before.
the governor was saying or doing, and he was relating it back to it. You know, being allowed to answer the question.
I'll give some leeway, because the witness made reference to this, so I'll allow it.
Well, the reference I made is because we were at that meeting and people weren't necessarily seated and it was louder. And there were comments being made and I believe Governor Sununu left because he was angry because it was loud in there. And like, I'm sure from his viewpoint, the meeting was out of hand and something he couldn't control. And so this next meeting was very much calculated, pre-planned. You could see it when you, like I say, from my wife walking in. We got there, there was all a staged, very controlled event. You know, and like I said, I just wish that they would have just been a little more cordial and not out to arrest people. It was clear with all, many vehicles there, sheriff's vehicles there. It was to hurdle up, and they wanted to, you know, get the people out. Anybody said anything like an amen or anything, they were going to take it away.
That this prior meeting was one of the people.
No, the second meeting.
Another meeting.
The chairs were all wire tied together. They were expecting a riot and hoping for what it seemed.
And at the prior meeting in St. A's, was one of the people who was speaking up and being loud. It was Staples.
Yes.
You don't right. And you remember that because you were president.
Pardon me?
You remember that because you were president.
Exactly.
Objection, Your Honor, this is on video, this is not disputed. I get loud, I'm loud. So the relevance factor here on other public hearings that people are attending to protest and express themselves in their displeasure with the tyrannical bootlicking government here and these freaking a-holes, right? This is out of control.
So I think this ban has been defined sufficiently.
Thank you.
So just two other quick questions. Did you recall, did you have a memory of a trooper coming up to Mr. Staples earlier and saying, whispering something this year? Did you see that during the meeting?
Which meeting you referring to now?
A trooper came up to him and spoke to him while the meeting was going on. You remember seeing that?
No.
Become aware of it? As I understand what you're saying is you're a couple of rows in front of Mr. Staples, so things are being done quietly behind you, like troopers approaching and talking. You wouldn't necessarily even see that.
That flag, well, that 5 feet maybe or less, would represent where Mr. Staples and Therese were, to me, as I was sitting there at that meeting. Assuming directly up front to the left. That's how close they were.
All right, but
I would have heard anything. And knowing Frank, he was very quiet at that meeting. Pardon me?
they were behind Therese and Mr. Staples.
Yes.
Behind.
To
And
the
you
side,
were
off to the
focused,
side.
you were focused on the stage in front of them.
Mostly.
Okay.
But looking around the
And
room,
one last thing.
because we all brought signs and we were videoing, so we were well aware of what was around us.
One last thing I want to ask.
We had
You
signs.
said you had gone there because you wanted to voice your opinion about what they were doing with this. They were accepting money, or they were accepting money.
Correct.
Right?
We were there as just, even as a present, as a protest against that.
Did you indicate earlier when you testified something that you were there to voice your opinion?
Did I indicate
Did you
that
just say
then?
that? You just testified. You were there to voice our opinion.
If we had an opportunity.
Right. Prior to that meeting, had you ever gone to their website to look at the rules for governor or executive council meeting in terms of how people are recognized to speak?
No.
So you went there and you weren't happy with the proposal, and you went there to voice your opinion.
We knew it, everybody was recording it, and we were carrying signs. My opinion was on my sign, sir.
Nothing further, thank you.
Yeah, his opinion's not on trial either. Apparently everyone's First Amendment is though, right? So, you said that I was very quiet.
Totally,
Is that typical for me?
not so much.
Right. And, so because you were sitting in front, were you constantly turning around and looking back at me, or were you mostly just looking ahead?
Mostly looking ahead.
Were you talking to anyone at all, like quietly or anything at all?
Just to my wife,
Just your wife, so you're talking
quietly, yes.
with her. Were there any other people talking through the meeting?
Not just to be a disturbance.
Not loud, but
Exactly.
So they weren't disrupting, but were people talking at all? Did you hear other noises, like squeaking shoes?
Oh, yeah.
It began related to the cross-examination, but starting to veer into new territory. Do you have any further questions for this witness?
No.
Any cross-examination? May step down, sir. Thank you. Be careful with yours. Mr. Staples, please call your next witness.
Could you let Deb Budd know?
Jeff Bud?
Deb Budd?
Oh, she's not, I'm sorry, she wasn't able to.
check in the hallway.
She was.
No, there's no check.
She was unable to.
Unable to make it, we would have come
And
together.
then, can you see if there's anybody else out there?
Where's Sununu? Sununu here?
Bill Domenico?
Oh, yeah. Bill
Monica
Newman.
Holmes?
In Caring. So, yeah, Bill Domenico, I guess. We'll go with him. Domenico.
Sir, come on up to the witness stand, please. Watch your step there. Come up, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the penalties of perjury? Yes, I do. All right. Please state your name for the record, spelling your last name.
Strategic coughing there.
Domenici.
Have you watched any of the videos of the first two cases of this trial? Yeah. Have you spoken with any of the witnesses who previously testified or who were scheduled to testify about the subject matter of this case? Yeah, has anyone told you that these questions were coming or prepared you how to answer those questions?
Mr. Staples, please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out here today. And, so do you remember October 13th Executive Council meeting?
Yes.
Where were you sitting approximately in the room?
I'd say I was sitting more towards the curtain, maybe a couple rows in front of the curtain, and probably half a dozen spots to your left, so I'll be left from here to you.
So did you have me in your line of sight?
Pretty much, but glance to the right, you were there.
And do you know my voice?
I know your voice well.
How do you know my voice well?
I've been in marches, other actions, if you will, activism.
And how would you describe my voice?
It projects well, and always very clear, and easy to pick out in a crowd.
Okay. Do you recall any disruptions of the meeting? Do you or any pauses of the meeting or anything like that?
I didn't recall any causes
Pauses.
or any disruptions.
Did you see when I was tapped on the shoulder and taken away?
Yes, I did.
And do you know why?
At that moment, I certainly didn't know why.
And So, before that, did you hear or see me clapping, making a loud noise?
I didn't hear any noises that would be recognizable to be you.
How about shut it down prior to when we were taken behind the curtain?
Definitely not.
Did you hear any noises during the meeting at all?
Hardly anything.
Anything?
Nothing significant.
Were people talking amongst themselves?
Yeah, there's a little banter going on, murmuring, talking about something, correct? Certainly nothing that was meant to disrupt me.
And even if it wasn't, did any of these murmurings or anything like that pause the meeting? Or get any warnings? Do you recall a trooper coming out and warning the crowd at one point?
I do.
What did she say?
I don't remember verbatim, but essentially she was admonishing the crowd that if anybody made any noises, they would be arrested. She may have said it was a final warning, and I couldn't even believe why she was up there doing it.
So yeah, so why, what, bless you, what was she referring to? Did she say why she was giving the warning?
No, I don't recall.
Was there ever a specific warning to the crowd given by the governor?
I think the only time the governor spoke to the crowd was after the Pledge of Allegiance.
What did he say?
I don't remember verbatim. After you verbatim.
No, whatever you recall.
Something to the effect of, outbursts won't be tolerated, or something like that.
Do you know what he meant by the outburst?
Apparently, he didn't like the way we said the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not sure what the problem was.
What about cat calling?
I never heard anything about that problem.
Or in general, cat calls? Whoops, did you hear any whoops? And what was the audio quality of the room? Did it echo?
It wasn't any logic, wasn't terrible, wasn't fantastic, but pretty much able to.
And did Megan Walsh give any people in the room a chance to leave when she gave her warning?
I don't recall any specific instructions to leave.
Like, did she say, if people are continuing to make loud noises, you'll be arrested unless you leave. This is your opportunity to leave if you don't want to be arrested.
I don't recall that, only that you would be arrested.
You would be arrested. And did you ever hear anyone say, "It's a lie"? That you recall?
I don't recall.
How about amen? Did you ever hear anyone say amen at any point?
I actually didn't hear. I know that that's an issue, but I actually did not hear the word amen myself.
How about yeah?
I didn't hear that either.
been to any of these type of meetings, or public meetings? Would you say that this was a typical meeting?
In what way?
Well, in the time and the place and the amount of people that were there.
I say the location and the crowd size was larger than
Larger than normal. Are the meetings usually held at the police standards and training facility? Have you ever been to one there before? Are you aware of the rules of conduct at the State House and the Legislative Office Building for meetings held there? And do you know if they would apply at this police standards and training facility, because it's not actually the place?
I don't know that.
Let's see, anything else here? I think that's it. Yes, thank you.
Mr. Domenico? Yes. Mr. Domenico, early on in Mr. Staples' examination, he said, describe my voice, and you said that you read a voice that's loud and I can recognize it. You speak clearly. I didn't actually use the word loud. Yes, I said he projects and easily know if his voice or not. Okay. It sounds like from what you're testifying to, you were seated in the police standards of training in a row that was closer to the back of the room in the curtain than Mr. Staples and Ms. Brown. That is true. Okay. So further from the stage in the power of the executive council. Correct. And I'm going to go to the second part here. Once Mr. Staples and Ms. Brunel were tapped on the shoulder and went behind the curtain, could you hear Mr. Staples and recognize his voice? Yes. And did you hear him say, amongst other things, we're being arrested? Did you hear him say that? I did. Did you hear him say, words to the effect of,
Objection, Your Honor. I didn't even ask about what happened behind the curtain.
This is cross-examination. So, the opposing parties entitled to inquire about areas that they think are relevant.
Okay.
did you hear him say words to the effect of, what is she? Okay. Did you hear him say repeatedly, shut it down? Yes, I did. Okay. Had you heard him say that phrase in other contexts at other public forums before? Is that a phrase that he says?
Objection, relevance.
I'm asking if he recognizes his voice, and this is the phrase he hears him say. I think it's relevant. I did answer that I recognize his voice. And have you heard him say that phrase before, uttering those exact words?
Objection, relevance, shut it down. Whether or not I said it before has no relevance to whether I said it at that time. We're not being charged with saying shut it down previously.
I think Mr. Staples was right.
Yeah.
And his witness has said that he heard Mr. Staples say shut it down.
And when I'm named next question.
Freaking state prosecutors are terrible. They're terrible.
What did you take him to be meaning by that phrase in the context of being at the meeting you were at? What did you understand it to mean, sir? You bet.
mean, objection, he's gonna have to speculate on what I meant. He can't know what I meant.
You can't testify to what your intentions were, but you can testify to what his understanding was from your message. It's a fine distinction, but it's irrelevant.
Sure. From what I observed of Mr. Staples being removed to the other side of the curtain, I was under the impression that he was being wrongfully arrested. And my impression of Frank saying, we're being arrested and shut it down, or behind the curtain, was rather clear to me that he was being wrongfully arrested. He wanted people to do something about it.
Shut the meeting down.
Yes.
That's what he was yelling from behind the church. Shut it down. Shut this meeting down.
He did yell that.
And you understood that's what he meant.
Objection, I didn't say that. He's saying he's adding things in that were never even said.
He didn't use the word teach.
Shut this meeting down. I didn't say shut this meeting
That's
down.
what you understood him to say. That's what you understood.
Objection.
Me.
He can't tell him what he understood. He's leading.
Mr. Staples, hang on. Attorney O'Leary, ask a clear, direct question.
What did you take him to mean when he said, shut it down? What was his intent that you understood?
Let's ask him.
Asked and answered.
And it was directed to the people inside the meeting, the people.
Objection, he doesn't know where it was directed. Obviously, it was directed inside the meeting. This is ridiculous. Line of questioning. Thank you.
And once that occurred, did the meeting in fact stop for a period of time?
I don't recall the meeting stopping for a period of time.
Do you remember the governor saying, words to the effect of, we're going to have to pause the meeting at this point?
I did.
All right, so did they pause the meeting at that point?
Barely noticeable.
Do you recall Mr. Staples being approached before he was at the meeting at an earlier time by another trooper and spoken to? Do you recall seeing that?
I do.
Okay. And do you recall in response to what it was that occurred immediately before that? Do you recall hearing or seeing it? Do you recall at some point in time during the meeting before Mr. Staples was arrested that people stood up and held signs up and turned their back on the people on the stage? Do you remember that happening?
I certainly do.
And do you remember during the course of that occurring, while one of the counselors was speaking, someone yelled, "Amen"?
I never heard the name.
Okay.
It's possible I heard it.
Okay. And was it after that occurred, shortly after that, when the crowd had turned back to the stage and Mr. Staples sat down, that he was approached by a couple of troopers and tapped on the shoulder and let out?
Probably.
Thank you.
I'm trying to remember something from, I got distracted of this, but I do have two things, I'm trying to remember the other one. I objected to, that and,
So the first, we'll touch on this first. The warning, you saw someone come tap me on the shoulder and talk to me. And from what he said, give me a warning. Do you know what actually happened when the officer tapped to me and talked to me?
I do not. I have no idea if it's a warning or if they were complimenting you on your hair. I just don't know.
So you couldn't hear anything that he said?
No.
Prior to that, was there any pauses or disruptions to the meeting?
Not that I recall.
And, amen.
Yes.
So, the meeting was, you said that the meeting was briefly paused by Sununu. At what point, and you said it was barely noticeable, do you think the rest of the room noticed him pausing the meeting? And at what point did he pause the meeting? If you recall.
I think it was while you were behind the curtain.
So while I was behind the curtain, the meeting was paused, and for how long?
Seconds.
Seconds? Well, how did it get restarted?
I don't recall.
Okay. So, the meeting was paused at some point after I was taken behind the curtain, and then, it resumed at some point. And do you recall other people being arrested at any point?
Here, let's go down, so.
Did I ask if, yeah, no, I think we're good. You guys got any follow-ups?
Step down, sir. Once you step on the stairs. Why didn't you witness Mr. Staples?
Did you say Ken was up there?
Ken's up there, yes, sir.
So, do we have him up here already or something?
I don't believe so. I don't remember.
Did he? Did he get to finish? Was I supposed to be asking him more questions? I don't know. Did we have testified fully? So I guess if you want to tell him to come inside.
Okay.
Sure. And see if there's anybody else out there, let me know. Well, you're not going to let my natural persons testify, correct? Rule 615 does not apply to natural persons. You excluded Robert Muckenthaler from testifying, and you excluded other people from testifying. Robert is here to testify. He's a natural person, and the exclusionary rule for witnesses does not apply. There is an exception to that rule for natural persons, and he is a natural person.
I think Mr. Staples is misunderstanding the extent of the exception. It was an exception for a party who is not a natural person. You are a party to the case. The state is a party to the case. These other people are not parties to the case. The exception applies to parties not being excluded.
Well, then why was Trooper Provenza allowed to stay in the room when he was the one who decided things? Yeah, Robert Muckenthaler. So I'm going to pull it up real quick because I think they are the ones that are misinterpreting the rule. Here we go. At the request of the party, the court shall, in criminal cases and may, in civil cases, order witnesses excluded so that they cannot hear the testimony of other witnesses. And it may, make order of its own motion. The rule does not authorize exclusion of a party who is a natural person or a victim of the crime. An officer, person who's present. So, okay, well, maybe we misunderstood that. Officer, clear. So, and how about this? He wasn't on my witness list the first day, so how could he be subject to the order? I didn't even know I was going to call him till the second day.
I don't know what question you're asking.
Robert Muckenthaler, he watched the first day of the trial. I didn't have any witnesses until the second day of the trial, correct? So he was not a witness, and therefore he couldn't be subject to any rules.
Are you seeking to call this person a witness then?
Yes.
Mr. Muckenthaler was disqualified last time. So yes, we object and they recall. The objection is sustained.
So yeah, is Ken back? Is Ken in here?
It's such a circus, guys. Such a circus.
I don't think there's any more witnesses. We're gonna get into some videos, and I don't know what if I could show videos
Sununu?
now and testify and cross-examine myself. I don't know how all this stuff is gonna go.
Judge, so Ken Arias left. Somebody texted him, he's turned around and coming back. Be back in 10, 15 minutes.
It's fine.
There is concern about him being in here because he, I think, is going to be on the witness list for the 7 other trials.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
So I don't know if the exclusionary rule, and then Monica Holmes out there, sir.
Oh, Monica's out there?
Yeah.
Monica, sorry.
But
Monica
Sununu?
Holmes is, I think, the last one.
No Sununu?
Sununu is. And then I would again ask for. I did. Monica, yes, please. Sorry, I thought he went.
We would object to this witness being called. She wasn't on even the defendant's.
She should have been.
Oh, I apologize. I missed her name.
Okay.
Ma'am, please come up to the witness stand. Watch your step there. Before you sit down, you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth, the truth, and the honest truth? Please ask. The process is you, please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
My name is Monica Holm, MONICAHOLM.
Great. The state will have a couple of questions for you first.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hi.
Did you watch any of the videos that you did want to do with this proceeding?
I watched part of the one. When it got up to the testimony, I turned it off and stopped watching. So I'm aware of that.
Okay. So you only watched the preliminary matters? You didn't watch any of the testimony?
Correct. I watched only what I had already, I was here that day and I taped. And I just watched up to that part and shut it down.
All right, you were here that day, so you left when the sequestration order
I
went
went
out?
outside. Yes, outside the doors.
Thank you. And you didn't watch any video?
No, I have not seen any testimony, I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay, thank you.
Please proceed, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. So, thank you for coming out here so many times. I apologize to everyone that is watching and that has been here because this whole thing, we know, is a sham. What were you doing at?
There's no evidence of that.
So, yeah, I can say whatever I want. So, again, thank you for coming out here. And so, October 13th, 2021, Executive Council meeting. Do you recall this day? And what do you recall of this day? Why were you at the Executive Council meeting?
The reason I went to the executive council meeting was a friend of mine told me that there was going to be a, I don't even know what to call it, I'm not how much physical therapist, so I don't know any of this stuff, but there was going to be discussion about accepting monies to vaccinate the remaining of the state, including 5 to 11-year-olds, and that really bothered me because children don't need to be vaccinated. So my friend drove me there, and when I got there and saw all the state troopers there, I thought they were there to protect me. That was my first thought. I said, oh good, this is great. I'll be fine here, I'll be safe here. And I went in and I sat down with my friend.
And, so you got inside. Do you recall any disturbances or warnings, lawful orders during the meeting?
We went in and we were all just talking, and then we were asked to calm down because the meeting was going to start. So we all just sat down, and then they were going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer, so they had us stand up and do the pledge. And at the end of the pledge, we just said, with liberty, and as soon as we said with liberty, the governor sat down, and we said, and justice for all, like really boisterously. So within a minute or so after that, because this was a year and a half ago, I watched the state's video that's on YouTube. It's 10/13/21 NH Executive Council Meeting, Part 1. It's about an hour and 50 minutes long. I watched it several times to make sure that my timeline was right. So at about a minute and 40 seconds or so, which was after the pledge, the governor admonished us and said there will be no more outbreaks or whatever, He got really provoked with us, so we just all sat down quietly. So that was the first part. Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
I'm just nervous up here.
It's okay, don't worry about it. Don't just tell the truth and we'll be good. I mean, it's all on video anyway, so we'll get to that.
Well, the timeline is on that video for sure to back up my testimony. That's, so it was like a minute 40, he admonished us, and then again at like 6 minutes or somewhere around there.
And yeah, so he admonished us twice early on.
Right, and in between those two admonishments, there was a general talking to us about shutting down our cell phones and not having any disruptions. That one was nice, there was no problem. The first one and the third one were the two admonishments that we'd gotten before anything happened.
So, what did the governor say specifically? What did he mean when he was admonishing? What was he warning against?
I don't have the exact words, you have to refer to the video.
No, what did you interpret his meaning?
When we admonished us about the Pledge of Allegiance, it was like, what? We just were like, with liberty and justice for all. And what did we do wrong? We have the right to, at a football game or baseball game, I guess you get to say it like that, I don't know. So I was just really shocked that I got yelled at for saying the pledge with enthusiasm and whatever.
And how about, do you recall where a state trooper, female state trooper came out and gave a warning to the crowd?
On their video, it's at about 59 minutes, maybe 38 seconds. I'm just guessing. I don't know the times exactly. I'd have to have a photogenic memory to know the time exactly, but about 59 minutes or so, the state trooper who I have heard is Megan Walsh. I don't know if it's her. I don't know who she is. I could not identify Megan Walsh, and she was right here in front of me. I don't know, because I just don't. So a female state trooper came up. I was in the third row. The state trooper came up on this side. I was over on the far side. There was 5 seats, so she was 3 seats away from me and in the front there. She interrupted the meeting, and that was the first interruption of the meeting. interrupted
She
it.
interrupted it?
Yes, there was the Department of,
She did,
wait, let me
Sure,
finish.
sorry.
The Department of Human Services, the black-haired woman, I don't know her name, she was talking, and she called in a blonde-haired woman to do some kind of, I don't even know what they were really talking about. It had something to do, I don't know. Like I said, I was only there because I was concerned about the kids. So, Megan, that blonde-haired woman was introduced, and I guess Megan, I'll just say some female state trooper, because I don't want to be wrong here. The female state trooper said, if there's any more outbreaks, you will be arrested. And then, I don't know, a few minutes
so
later.
you said she just stepped out and said that?
Yes, and there had been no disruption of the meeting at all from our first, the second, and the third admonishment, the second admonishment from the governor. That first 59 minutes of the meeting, there was no disruption from the people. In between some of the discussions, there was clapping, and there was, you know, little things like, we the people, or there were little things said, but none of it disrupted the meeting. Until that trooper interrupted the meeting, and I remember sitting there with my friend, she was on this side, and the trooper said that, and we're like, nobody's interrupted the meeting, and now we're all gonna be arrested? What are we doing here? So I just sat quietly. Again, like I had been for the first 59 minutes.
Do you recall, how about my voice? Do you know my voice?
I didn't know you before any of this. And if I heard your voice, I would know it, because it's loud, and it's proud, and it's very distinctive. It's got kind of a more of a nasally kind of sound. If I hear your voice, I know it's you.
Okay. And did you hear me say anything during the meeting that was loud and disruptive, or anything at all, for that matter,
I never heard your voice.
prior to the Megan Walsh warning?
Never heard your voice.
Okay. And did you ever hear me say, yeah?
Never heard your voice.
Never heard my voice, so you wouldn't have heard me say it's a lie.
Never heard your voice.
If I was talking, you couldn't hear me, apparently. So, how about, so where were you sitting in the room approximately?
I was in the third row back, in the second seat from the left, my left. My friend was here, I was here.
The third row from the front?
Third row from the front. And you were about, I don't know, 5 or 6 rows behind me.
Okay, so did you happen to see me get tapped on the shoulder, Beatrice?
I did not see you get tapped on the shoulder.
Did you?
Wait a minute, what happened was, about 5
That was not responding to the question, so.
Okay, what's the question? Sorry. I'm nervous, so.
It's okay,
bear with me.
don't worry.
What's the question?
So, when did you become aware that Teresa and I were being arrested?
Okay. I was sitting watching forward after Megan gave the warning, about 6 minutes after. Governor Sununu said, and this is not verbatim, because I can't remember verbatim, but you can see it on the video in about 1 hour and 5 minutes into their video. He said, if there's any more disruptions, you will be asked to leave. So we were just sitting quietly, and I didn't hear anything until I heard shut it down, and then a female voice say, we're being arrested. And then I heard other people, a couple minutes later, scuffling about, what did he do, and they didn't do anything, and all these comments, and I still was facing forward. And then I heard a woman scream, I didn't do anything! And when I hear a woman scream, I turn to look to see. A woman or a child, I turn to look to see. So I turned to look to see, and I actually stood up. You can see me on their video, standing up and looking to see what was going on with this woman. And what I saw was horrible. And I watched them drag her all the way around and behind this curtain. And that was when I was aware that several people had been arrested. I knew one of them was Frank from his voice of Shut It Down, which I had never heard him say that before. And then I heard Therese say we're being arrested. Those are the only two people that, I knew those two people were the ones who were arrested because of their voices. And I didn't know, who the other two were, or three, or whatever, how many were, and then I saw the woman go behind her. That's answered your question.
And so now I'm back there screaming and yelling. People are getting arrested. And were you arrested at one point?
I was. After I turned around and watched that.
Sustained for what? I didn't even hear what he said. It's not relevant. It is relevant to the fact that this was entrapment. And she just testified to the fact that Sununu said we would be asked to leave if there was any disruptions. Okay? And so I'm trying to build a case for entrapment here, an entrapment defense. I've been doing that the whole time. They didn't let us leave. Megan Walsh gave an admonition for nothing. She did not stop the meeting. She stepped out randomly while the meeting was still going, and Megan Walsh disrupted the meeting. Okay? And then that was used as a pretext to start arresting people at random, even though Sununu said people would be asked to leave if there were any further disruptions. I was not asked to leave. She was not asked to leave, and that's what I'm trying to get at. She was one of the 9 arrested, and her charges have been dismissed. Okay? So, you said that you never heard me say shut it down before.
Correct.
And how familiar are you with me with that, with my speech, what I said?
I just knew of you, and I heard your voice a few times.
And give me a second here while I gather my thoughts and try to think about the question.
I don't know if I can get more information on that.
Well, the way it works is you have to answer your question.
Yeah. That's why.
So how about, I don't know if I asked this, I may have. Did you ever hear me say yeah? Very loud, disruptively, recklessly? How about shut it down prior to the Megan Walsh warning, or even prior to, after the Megan Walsh warning, or but before I was taken behind the curtain when you already said I said shut down? Did you ever hear me say shut it down prior to that?
I did not, and with corroboration with their video and the timing, when I got up and turned and looked around, and their video, I believe, does show, I don't know how to testify for your recollection. Okay, my recollection. I never heard you say anything until you, I believe you were behind the curtain and that you already had your hands in the zip ties when you said shut it down and Therese said we're being arrested. Because it was really close together and Therese yelled it enough so that her kids could be notified. So I don't know. Yeah.
So, okay, so just
prior to all that noise.
Right, and it was only like a minute, so. There was only like a few minutes in between when I turned around and you were.
No, I'm saying way before the whole full meeting.
Oh, the meeting, I never heard you say.
Full meeting, before, from the Pledge of Allegiance, all the way up to Megan Walsh's warning, and up until I actually did say shut it down. Did you ever hear me say, yeah, shut it down?
I never heard you say anything.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. I think we
First
did
thing
go
I
over.
heard you say was shut it down, and then Teresa immediately said, we're being arrested. So to me, with that timing, you had to have been already behind the curtain. That's my recollection. So you're in half of it.
And Megan Walsh's warning was, what was the specificity of her warning?
As far as I can recall, she said, if there are any more disruptions, you will be arrested. The problem with that is there had not been any objection. Sorry,
Objection for what?
me speculating. Sorry.
Well, I didn't hear that, because usually,
I stopped.
whenever I say objection, I have to say what I'm supposedly objecting to, right? Not just objection, and then you assume what he's objecting to?
Well, your witness identified the issue.
And you testified that people were clapping in the room?
Yes.
Twice?
In between, like I've never even been to an executive council meeting before, so the meeting, I didn't even know how it was gonna work, but they would talk about an issue, they had so much to talk about, they would talk about an issue, and when the issue stopped and there was a break, because they have to write things down, and I don't even know how that works, but they have to write things down, and when they did that, people would clap, or they would say something short. None of it disrupted the meeting.
So,
The flow.
did you see any of these people that were clapping and making mumbles and comments? Did any of them get warned by any state police?
Not that I know of, but I was warned when I turned around after watching Kathleen go around the corner. I was warned that if I said one more word, I would be arrested.
And why did they say that?
I don't know because I hadn't said anything.
So you were threatened with arrest for just saying one more word?
I didn't say any words. The state trooper was a male state trooper up in the front corner. Came up to me, pointing his hand at me and said, "One more word out of you and you're gonna be arrested." And I was caught off guard.
And then you were arrested for that?
Well, they pulled Ken Iron out of the way, tapped me on the shoulder and took me outside.
So you were talking to Ken Iron?
I didn't talk to him, I just sat there and would not answer, and he asked me what the officer had said to me, and I wouldn't say another word, because I was told not to.
Fair to say you were terrified at that point?
What's the relevance?
The relevance is the whole entrapment thing, and why they're not letting people leave, they're not clearing out the room. If there was such a disturbance, why wasn't the meeting shut down immediately? Why did Sununu stop the meeting for 2 seconds and then start it again so that people could start getting arrested for just asking what was going on and why were people getting arrested randomly? So the point is the whole entrapment thing, where they're using Sununu's admonitions as a foundation of the lawful order that we were all warned, as well as Megan Walsh's, even though there were no disruptions happening. And we're going to get to that in the video. All right. So,
And so Sununu said we would be given the opportunity to leave. After he said that, at any point in time, do you recall anyone or the group being given the opportunity to leave before being arrested?
None of us were given the opportunity to leave.
Thank you very much. That should be all. No one was preventing you from leaving at the time,
No, but it was pretty intimidating with 32 state troopers in the room.
Okay. None of them were blocking the exits, though, right?
They were standing near the exits and along all the aisles.
Isn't it true that people had left the room during the proceedings?
Some people had, but I was in
Okay,
the.
so nobody was preventing them from doing it, right?
Can you let her answer the question before you cut her off?
Nobody prevented you from leaving the room at any time, isn't that right?
No, but I was intimidated to leave the room and that there were state troopers lining the aisles and the sides. And I was told not to say another word, so I just sat still and was afraid to move.
I have no further questions.
Please step down there. Please be careful of the stairs.
Thank you, Bill.
Come on.
Mr. Staples?
Yes, so we can go into the videos,
Next witness.
the videos. The videos, I have videos. I think we're good on the witnesses at this point.
Frank Pence here.
Oh, Ken's here?
Yes, sir.
That's, we already went over that, right? Yeah, no, they said he can't testify. I don't know if he was coming back just in case we needed to ask him again or what.
Mr. Staples?
Right, we're good to go?
Do you intend to take the witness stand, sir? You have no obligation to take the witness stand in this proceeding, and no one can force you to take the witness stand. But if you choose to do so, this would be your opportunity to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf.
Right, and how about presenting video as well?
How would you introduce video evidence?
What do you mean?
Through whom would you introduce the video?
Through myself.
Okay, so if you want to take the witness stand, this would be your
So
opportunity.
can I, what do you mean I don't understand what you mean. So I have to testify first before I can put the video up?
Well, that's how you would introduce.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. All right, so I get up there and then I get down and do that.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know how you.
It's like the judge is making up rules.
That's at your.
Well, I'll show you how. It's called a HDMI cable and a laptop hooked up to the TV. Right? Hopefully small.
Hold on, Frank.
Can we just take a 5-minute AV break? Just to reset?
I mean, we might want to just continue this another day. We have 20 minutes left of the 2 hours, and so maybe we should just come back to do this.
Your Honor, and what I would suggest before, I have no problem with him, I even have an HDMI cable with me that may be longer, better for you, but I would like him to come forward and be sworn in, and then he can go set up and we can do all that. I don't want
Why does it have to be sworn in for a video?
So before he's going to introduce
It's
this,
like
he should be
so
sworn in.
prude.
If he should come forward and be sworn in, then we can take the break and set up the video. That's what I would suggest.
Mr. Staples, could I trouble you to raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Under the pains and penalties of death, yes. And perjury, if that's good enough.
Fair enough. So we're going to take a 4-minute audio visual break then. You can commence your testimony.
All right.
Pat, what are you doing? Don't, no.
That was 15
Guys.
minutes of the day.
Obedience.
So what are we gonna do when we hit 12 o'clock? We're gonna have to come back. Well, no, he said 2 hours. That's it. He's got other things to do today, and so do I, because he told me 2 hours, that's it. So we'll be back for day 4, believe that.
The sun is sick and we're already 2 hours and 40 minutes in.
I know.
Oh, he's saying,
Sure, thanks.
So Frank, we're not going to see Sununu on the stand?
apparently they don't want to allow any subpoenas of people or anything like that.
That doesn't even require a subpoena. He is.
He should be here. He's a witness. He's a key witness.
Yeah.
Necessary party. Oh, there's already.
Absolutely necessary party. Is that the term, necessary party? Yeah, Frank, he's a necessary party for sure. Sununu is a necessary party in this trial.
Okay, excellent. Nice, thank you so much.
What?
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. I think you should.
Takes a bathroom. Okay.
I mean, this thing will be like won in appeals easily. With all the witness tampering. I'm surprised he hasn't dismissed the case yet because of it. I mean, I have video evidence. I wrote an affidavit, notarized it, submitted it to the court.
They're ignoring the affidavit.
They ignored it?
I submitted one. I haven't heard I posted it with my testimony. They didn't even address it. I don't think I'm standing. I mean, I'm not standing. It's not justice. It's just rules and procedures and a bunch of BS.
Yeah. Like, I think they've made up some rules as we've been here. Like, he doesn't have to, like, testify. He doesn't have to swear in.
Sir?
They got to testify.
It sounded like what was read off was different than what I
No, you're submitting evidence.
So it seems to me that Frank was talking about subsection A, which said it doesn't apply to a party that's a matter.
He's got to be able to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
The school does not authorize excluding.
Right, a party who is a natural person, but a party means somebody who's on the case. Yeah, I think that was the misunderstanding. No, it's just, like you can't,
somebody else.
like if it's Joe Blow versus Jill Blow, you can't exclude Jill or Joe. Even though they're gonna be cases.
Oh, okay.
Even though they're gonna be witnesses.
So I looked up natural persons, I didn't look up party.
Right, yeah, that's all.
Okay, very good. And then would I wrote up my would I not be able to do that, or would it just be ignored because I don't have standing?
Yeah, the clerk's office shouldn't be taking motions from non-parties.
She said she ran upstairs. You might have said.
It's not totally heard of, especially as clerk. I'm just looking to take.
Take care. Fuck Gunstock.
Strictly proper.
They're trying to say war.
That's a place that needs to be audited. Gunstock. I'm bring my camera there.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, what's good in town is first, and you can just get, and I was looking at figuring out what that litigation expense is. That's all good, no problem. They didn't want to climb over. And I know that town. I understand.
They must reserve money though.
Well, they're charging you, they're not even charging you with that,
They're
even though
way
that's what they
put
charge.
those expenses over a little.
They're charging you, saying, shut it down.
One big pile where you can see everything,
It's true. And like prepping for like lawsuits or something. It's like, what are you so worried about if you have to allocate money for it early?
It has to go all the way to the end. It's not over till it's over. Because they don't care. They're bootlickers. It's true. It's not mean. It's true. You guys could easily stop.
Oh, look, I can put it right there. I didn't realize that. Well, not really, because it shows up. What's up, you guys? Yeah, the trust in government is like sinking during this trial. Like, if anyone had any faith in government, they've lost it now on stuff like this. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like, it should already be dismissed. It should already be a mistrial. It should already be.
There's a good case for prosecutorial discretion, and they should have walked away from this, but here they're backing up the cops.
Yeah, they're wasting our money continuing this. I agree. Yeah, this is all about saving face. It's lipstick on a pig that's not sticking.
It's not about it.
So all the other trials they were already found not guilty, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're repeating a trial.
Yeah, they're repeating a trial.
Same trial.
Yeah.
How many defendants have had their names?
Arrested?
They've been dismissed.
They were,
The
well,
charge-
no, they were found not guilty, right? One of them was dismissed, and the rest were found not guilty.
Oh.
I think it's what. But it was all the same. It's all the same case. They just,
Yeah.
He was excluded from it, I believe, because the lawyer represented
Right.
the others.
Right.
They had a stack. So I mean, you can see why, especially with certain lawyers. They don't like difficult clients. Frank is definitely a difficult client.
He's done relatively good.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually.
The only thing I want to get on him is trying to argue his case during witness examination.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing.
If we could just like not stand, that'd be great. Don't stand, guys. I'm gonna get you on camera. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think he was like,
Oh, we got one guy. Oh.
So this is the Trina Stokes video that was right behind me that the state has been using. I got it off of the Rebuild New Hampshire website.
Hey guys, alright, so we're here for the vote, we're at NHGI with the governor, hoping that we get no's on this 27 million. We got a lot of freedom fighters here, which is amazing, and
So we can hear the purpose of why everyone was there. To hear no's on the vote, you didn't hear her testify to shutting anything down or just being disruptive.
Your Honor, I'm just going to raise just as a thought for the court. I don't know that this lady has appeared to testify. I don't believe she has. I don't recognize her. If she's appearing in this format, obviously we don't have the opportunity to front and cross-examine her. So it sort of violates the fundamental notion of the opportunity to confront and cross-examine. So I object because it's hearsay and it violates the sort of fundamental tenet of due process tenet of people who are going to make statements if that they are assertions that they want the court to accept are subject to be called and confronted. She's not on the witness list, and she's not someone who is, so to the extent she's making statements,
No.
I don't want those statements admitted. I don't have a problem if she stands back and the video rolls and we see some things, but I don't want Mr. Staples now saying, this is what she's saying, this is what the purpose was, and having that be adopted through her without us having the opportunity to confront and cross-examine her. She's not an identified witness. That's improper. We object.
Your Honor, she actually was here. She was on this witness stand and she was disqualified for watching the day one of the trial. So what
Mr. Staples, what I imagine to be the way this should work is that I need to let you know that the court won't consider anything that might be considered testimonial about what's being
Sure.
said on the video.
If I may, to touch on what O'Leary has been saying the whole time, the video evidence is the best evidence. And this is the video evidence that the state is trying to use in a selective fashion. So to say that this is testimony, this is not testimony, this is an exhibit, and I am going through the context of the day, a couple minutes after this, is where there's an interview with me and a reporter where I say, I'm going to be super quiet. I'm not going to do anything. My whole plan is to be quiet, okay? Which goes along with the testimony and everything. So we're going to go through this thing, and we're going to, if he feels that something is necessary to call someone here who we've tried to call and get their testimony, he can call them as a hostile witness or whatever he wants to do if he feels he needs to cross-examine a video evidence. There's nothing to cross-examine. The video is the video.
So, Mr. Staples, the court won't consider anything that takes place in the video that can be considered testimony. So I would just ask you to please not make your commentary about testimonial statements made in the video. If you want to capture what took place at the hearing in terms of noises that were made.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, but
Sure.
I'm not going to allow hearsay to come in, and the state has a point with respect to you can't introduce testimony because these people.
I'm not
are
introducing
available for
testimony.
cross-examination.
I'm just introducing the video.
I want to make sure you understand how I'm going to treat this. I'm not going to consider testimonial statements. I'll consider objective evidence contained in the video. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have found.
Please proceed.
So.
Deputy Recorder here, so I don't know about that. All right, give you guys kind of a quick tour.
You can see all the people outside, hundreds of people.
So it goes to this, it really doesn't matter what happens here today, it does matter because we need to make sure that the.
We're trying to answer
It's one part of the whole thing, right? They work for us, so. But just so you know, we are getting, sold down the river, so it's a $1 million contract that got signed into the 21 under the guise of, through DHHS, or STD. It's on the grant for occupied to see it. So everything that they're doing here is absolutely illegal, it's unconstitutional. So when the governor can meet with the executive council, and they can talk about what they want for funding or whatever, but all of that has to go to the full body of the general court.
Today, we begin and start taking back some of what's been stolen. And what we need the executive council to do.
To put the.
Also said that we will not shop for WMUR. WMUR doesn't deserve the time of day for us. But the day before, 2 days before, they just did a press release with WMUR. How come they get coverage by the news? Also said that we will not shop for WMUR. WMUR doesn't. Right in there. Well, they think the vaccine passports, all the people on the society that they're doing in work, you need to have vaccine passports to get and also isolation and quarantine of the unvaccinated and LGBTQ. So she was right in there. Well, they think this is not real state language. This is Broadway.
It's hard to hear because she's asking me a question about what my plan is, and this is where I'm saying that I plan on being silent. Of course, you can hear Therese on the bullhorn simultaneously, but I'm trying to get at this point at the 12-minute mark where I say that I plan on being silent.
Well, it's up to these groups that I call control opposition. Make sure it's not in line with the pressure. There has to be a protest movement. We need to be distinct to get them to eat the carrot and reopen all these political parties. They're not activists, they're politicians, and they're lobbyists. And if they want good bills to take those through, we need to be, speakers our team showing up for the people. And if they can't get behind the people, then who are they? What are they doing? That's the question. I was planning on being silent anyways, because I don't think that there's being loud and calling everybody is crazy and easy to right? To do that, my plan is to be, just putting out the people. And if they can't get behind the people, then who are they? What are they doing? That's the question.
Pause it.
I'm not able to discern what you're saying. I
Oh,
heard,
sorry.
the only thing I could discern was you saying that we need to be the stick, not the carrot.
And then right after that is where she asks me another question at this 12-minute mark, and I say, I was planning on being, you can't hear really
I
what she
can't hear.
It's
I
because you
can't
get,
discern what you're saying.
you can if you listen, and you try not to listen to the bullhorn in the background. I know it's difficult, but you can, and, you know, I can hear it. Maybe I just have super hearing, but if you want to try to listen again, it might take a couple times for you to hear it, but it's there. Right here.
I was planning on being silent anyways, because I don't think that there's being loud and calling everybody is crazy and easy to right? So my plan is to be, just come here, be casual, and do my thing, and represent the people.
So there's that, and you can review it. I don't know, can I give the court a file of this? You guys are gonna have to review this, right? The videos, is that gonna become part of the case record, right?
Do you have
Minute mark?
an intention to introduce
This entire video.
through thumb drive or something?
Sure, whatever I gotta do to do that, yeah. I'm gonna upload, I will introduce this video, and then there are, other perspectives which catch different things as well. And then there's one 10-minute video from another person who caught most of the arrest, my arrest. So now, turning our backs. Okay.
I'm going to interrupt you there, Mr. Staples, and ask you to go back to the table. We're not going to have time to take anything further evidence in this proceeding. We'll continue this and let me propose April 13th at 12:45.
Sir, could we do it anytime after the 15th? Like I said, I had Honorable Senator Bob Guida, who had surgery. He was unable to make it today. He texted me, literally, he called me when I was up front, and he said, I'm sorry, I can't make it, but if I can, after April 15th, I will be available.
Well, tell me about your availability on the 13th.
On the 13th? Yeah, no, probably not until the 17th, and between Between the 13th.
What's
the problem with the 13th?
I'm gonna be moving, and I'm not gonna be, I have a pretty personal.
I'm gonna schedule this for the 13th.
Why?
Unless the state has a reason. Can you tell me your availability?
I have a trial scheduled at 10 o'clock in CASHAPP County, Judge.
So he's got something anyway, so why don't we just, be a little bit.
How about the 20th of April?
Excellent, that sounds good.
Smoke it up, 420.
I already have 2 things scheduled in the morning, 2 different counties. 12:45, that would be fine.
12:45 on April 20th.
And that's fine on my calendar.
Blaze the blood.
Yes.
See you later. Alligator.
I love how he just like rushed out. He rushed out. Gotta get out of here.
They're not ruling on my motions properly. They're not even giving me time to respond to these guys' motions when they file them. It's pretty crazy.
Frank, would it be possible, now that it's clear that this judge is biased, faced that he wasn't willing to give you work around your schedule, but he was willing to work around their schedule, could you file something asking him to be removed?
I don't know.
I think that's a really minor bias, but it is a little bias. It is a bias.
The thing is, this judge is being, there's a motion in, I believe it's Superior Court, or Probate Court, for him to be removed from a case that was filed on January 23rd of 2023. So we've already got some problems with a totally different case in a different court with the same judge.
Go figure.
Okay, can we take this outside? Could we go back to the courtroom, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna wait for Frank.
Sure.
What kind of pins you got there? Are you a scuba diver?
Hard hat time.
Yeah?
I'm trained in Navy.
Wow. Did you ever wear like that actual cap? Yeah? Cool, cool. What's the other one you got there?
My retired pin.
Retired pin? So you retired? The Navy? Gotcha, gotcha. I'm sorry?
Retired at 95.
95.
Oh, yeah. It just goes to tell you how much it's undermining. It goes to tell you how screwed they are, how much it's undermining what these guys are doing.
Yeah, they didn't even let me a chance to freaking respond to these guys' objection. You know what I mean? I don't get 10 days to respond to none of you guys' things, right?
Yeah, what I don't get is how can the judge like know what the objections are, like without explanation?
Sometimes they're super obvious.
Yeah, but
Because we're all
not to him.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So I think you should be clear about it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Can we do that moving forward?
Well,
Tax funded.
It's frustrating when we have to make the same objection over and over again for the exact same reason. So.
Well, we don't know that. I wish my tax dollars went to better use. I'm just waiting for Frank. All right, I'll just. Well, I'm with Frank, so.
Okay, but we can get you out.
We'll get there as soon as he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm told to get you out.
Can't leave them here alone with you guys.
We can't. We also can't trust you.
I don't trust myself, right? So.
That's scary. That is very scary.
Why don't you play it?
Oh, he's not all set. He's still here. He's still talking. He's still on the record, sir.
Yes.
We're not on the record here.
If the state agency is talking to him, then it's on the record.
I'm untrustworthy.
What's that?
I'm untrustworthy.
Hey, maybe you could sleep your way to the top here.
Ew.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Disgusting.
Thank you, Garcia.
The judge today was just so, I don't know, it was like he pointed at the guy sitting next to him, maybe you were in dripping, he was like, get that man out of the courtroom.
Oh,
Shake.
yeah. That guy, Bobby, gotta get him out. So I'm glad he did that, though. I mean, honestly, we should all get kicked out like last second. Be loud and disruptive.
I always think about wearing that shirt into the courtrooms.
It's my court shirt. Good job today, Frank.
Thanks, appreciate it. This is the longest trial he's ever had.
I know, there's been murder trials that are shorter than this.
Yeah, I never gave them any attachments. The attachments that I don't. You don't need them.
This is why we pay taxes, guys. For stuff like this.
It was like, you know, it was like question like what's going on. I thought
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
same.
And it turns out it was all bullshit. So I mean, you know, there's
And over $50,000 plus so far to the state of New Hampshire.
when will the madness end? And the whole thing was, it talks about psychosis happens to people.
Motion to disqualify Judge Christopher.
Hey, Bill, do you see this perversion right here of Rule 78? So they completely redefine Rule 78 through an administrative order. I don't understand how they can get away with that.
But this has been out for a while.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter how long that was.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, it doesn't seem to hold water.
And I want to know where in the rules or the law, the Supreme Court ruling, where we actually have to fill out a form to film. There's nothing in the rules. They just made that up. They're making that form up.
They made that up. Years ago, I used to fill out the form, but it was never denied.
Yeah.
Was it someone?
What's up?
Get a copy of Frank's whole file, and someone that filled out that thing to record,
Well, good luck.
put down anonymous, and it was
It'll be
approved.
another.
It was approved.
Yeah, I know. He said that day one.
Another couple of days, to be honest.
Yeah. I do it every time. I always do anonymous. But he forced me to, say, I'm the anonymous guy.
Which makes you not anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to give you my
In
name.
a world of biometrics,
Yeah.
you can't be anonymous anymore.
No, I understand that. But legally, but in a legal speaking sense, when I say I want to make an anonymous complaint or anonymous recording or something like that.
No intent to identify your call.
Right.
None whatsoever.
Right.
It's like the previous hearing that got shut down, where I was loud, and that meeting should have been shut down too. And I shut it down all the time, because I love saying shut it down, that's my thing. That's my jam, shut it down. Shut it down all the time.
Drive safe, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, see you later. See you. Welcome back.
Hey, take care. You too. It's good to see some polite court officers, especially young ones that, kind of. Yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm happy for you, Thank you. It's going to follow these prosecutors. When I say drive safe, I mean don't run down people. Especially if they have a camera that can witness it. And I called the Concord Hospital Police yesterday regarding it, and still haven't gotten a response yet. I had the little update on the Bulldog complaint that I have. The Department of Justice, the AG's office, they said to me that they'll get back to me with an email like later that day. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since they said that to me. Interesting, they got the Concord police here. Let's take a look. He's here. How's it going? Did he leave his computer on? Nope. A little messy. Car's a little messy. Oh, he's got one of those LED spotlights. Those things are cool. And then look at it's the Wayland lights. The other prosecutor's still here. They're still hanging out in the parking lot. I guess Frank's still inside. So it goes to day 4, guys. Another trial date. Oh, look, he's got his regular, his normal car, his personal car this time. And we got 522-7413. Usually he drives a state vehicle, but today he decided to drive his own. Looks like a hybrid. Oh, thank you. You have rights. Brendan Mitchell, thank you. Have a good day. He waved. He was nice. Oh, it's a fully electric, it sounds like. I didn't hear any engine. He's generally nice. He's laughed at a lot of my comments and stuff, but this other guy, he's kind of a douche. Thank you for sharing my PayPal link there, Kay Stevenson. Yeah, they just say, you should just trust us. Just trust us. Looks like another prosecutor. Now guys, look where I am. See, I'm behind this yellow line here. Heck, I'll stand on this median here. I don't care. There he goes. Oh, look, his plate cover is still messed up. He still has a plate cover and it's falling off. It's obstructing his plate. Can't believe it. All right, let's see where Dave's at. Oh, again, is the trooper coming up here? Illidan. I'm not sure who that is. Looks like we got someone here. Thin blue liner. He's got a gang symbol on the back of his car. Gang symbol, actually more like a terrorist insignia. And they left. 415-1218. And he's got a terrorist symbol on the back of his car. And here's a known associate.
As an expert, just like basically making.
Still working on that debate video. Well, it's still rendering. It's 38 hours rendering so far, and another like 20 hours left.
They used her to get on the record.
It's 2.5 hours long, but I have 3 different camera angles and just transitioning back and forth.
It wasn't a usual meeting.
I think the problem was that I didn't clip the segments and I just like faded it in and out from 0 to 100, so it's like thinking about all the videos all the time. It's so annoying. So I've been like just wait on that to finish before I can use my computer again.
Does it tell you how long it has left, or like give you any idea?
It does tell me it's like 20 hours left. So hopefully it's gone down quite a bit. Once it gets to like certain points in its rendering, it'll like shoot down and how much time's left because it's averaging or something. But the last back end is like I'm moving my camera around a lot, and then I ran a stabilizer, so that stabilization is gonna make it slow.
Alright, I guess we're heading out to Taco Biondo.
Alright, have fun.
Cheers, dude. Sounds like a plan.
I'll take pictures tonight for the gallery.
Alright, cool.
And if you have any like AI art you want me to show like on the projector, I'll just be like, Ian submitted
Which
this.
gallery?
Artsy Fartsy tonight.
Is that the one you're setting up?
Yeah, I'm hosting it. Oh, I'm curating it. I call it. Take care, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. She wasn't available. Take it easy.
I don't think it was clear. I don't think it was made clear to her that we'd want her back. Because she was they were not allowed to cross.
Right.
And
It wasn't
they
made
said-
clear to me that she needed to be
They
back.
said,
I didn't
they
say
said she
anything.
was still sequestered.
Right. I didn't understand. I don't know. I guess we were halfway through. I forgot. And they don't care about. They really don't care about my disability. I can't. But it really doesn't matter because I didn't do anything. And the truth is in the videos. And they're gonna see how messed up it is, and they know too. That's why it's putting in the videos. You're showing stuff that we don't want you to see because it makes us look bad, right? Go back and watch the videos. You know, I
love that you said we're just looking at video evidence.
And I think a key thing is that, like when the judge says that they're giving testimony in the video and they can't come here, blah blah blah. Well, you just say that this testimony is as it's happening. Right. As it's happening, they're testifying, so they don't need to rehash it up here in court.
Not only that, but the state brought that in as evidence. So
right, they're the ones that already put it.
It's not even your video; it's the state's video.
Exactly.
At this point.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
The only reason I got the whole thing was so we could have it all in context. They wanted to pick out little tiny parts and show. And you really couldn't hear what happened there because it was a bit of a commotion. And they're trying to say that I said, yeah, when that's not even what I'm being charged with.
Oh, that's
so whenever I talk about it's a lie and yeah, none of that matters because I'm charged with clapping loudly and saying shut it down before I was arrested and then after I was arrested.
Yeah.
So, and I certainly didn't say it before. I definitely did say it after.
Yeah.
Any of the witnesses confirm that they saw you clapping loudly?
None of them testified to clapping at all.
Okay. Did any of them confirm that you said shut it down before you went behind the curtain?
One of them did testify to that, and that was before, that was Lavoy. I was like, you fucked up the timeline, because I know that I said it afterwards. I didn't understand that I was being charged before with saying shut it down too. So I'm like, wait, they're charging me with saying shut it down before and after? But then they're testifying, half the cops said, I said yeah, after Therese said amen, and that was why I was arrested. So it's like, what was it? Was I arrested for saying yeah, amen, it's a lie, shut it down? I don't know. And you can hear all kinds of stuff throughout the videos, people saying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you can hear me at one point. You can hear me say, he should know. I wasn't yelling. I just said it matter-of-factly, and that's when I got the warning from DeLuca. But that's not even part of the charges. That was before the fact, right?
I got the video.
Yeah.
I mean, evidence is better than testimony. It's all there, right?
Well,
Exactly, that's the thing. He's like,
caught witness tampering.
Right.
And they're not gonna. The judge don't give a shit.
Judge don't care. You know. Oh, he was texting. So.
Did he rule on that? He didn't rule on
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
I should actually file a subpoena for Venza's phone records on that day in camera. I'll say I want the judge to review in camera, and if so that if there isn't anything there, I don't want to see if he was texting his lover, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something like that, or.
What if Sunuko's his lover? Just saying.
It may be true. I can't confirm nor deny.
But if he was, then it needs to be known, and if he wasn't, he should have no problem letting the judge see his texts if they were all benign. Right?
I agree.
So,
what are the chances of filing something against these lawyers' licenses? based on what they're doing.
Awesome, he's getting to that point. We'll figure that out at the end. I'm trying to get as much as I can generated towards, obviously I'm going beyond the scope of what a lawyer can do. And that's the point. That's the whole reason why I want to represent myself, because I can get so much more on the record that a lawyer would never even touch. So, what's going to happen? I get a fine, I got to go to jail for a few days, big deal.
They're wasting my money, our money, for something so frivolous. Even if let's just say you were really guilty, still extremely frivolous bullshit.
Misdemeanor.
Yeah.
$40,000 so far.
Oh, it's a lot higher than
on
that.
our tax dollars for a misdemeanor, and over 18 months.
And we're gonna have a fourth day of trial.
This is the biggest thing that I keep, when I tell people, they're like, oh no, you've got to be wrong. It must be 2022. I'm like, yep, it was 10/13/2021. They're like, that's got to be wrong. What about fair and free? Yeah,
Right, you still have 7 more to go through.
Right. And only Therese has a date. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, no,
None of the other ones, none of the other ones have a date yet. So the two defendants who have a greater charge don't even have dates yet. And if they're so bad, if you're so, I looked at the ruling on why they did not object to, they just let your bail, they filed a motion to pull your bail conditions, and then they didn't object to just letting it go. And I'm like, well, if he's such a big bad ugly, then why did they do that?
Right.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's crazy.
Thank you.
I like the decision about your beard even better.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I gotta take it. Okay, good luck.
That's my true claim to fame. Thank you so much. The beard lawsuit.
The beard lawsuit. Can you just explain that real quick? The beard lawsuit.
Fuck around and find out. I did 5 years in solitary confinement straight, but for the last 2.5 years of that little stint, I was denied parole, and I was denied to be let out of maximum security solitary into population because I was not shaving my beard on religious grounds. And so I ended up suing the state prison and the warden, and we had an injunction, and I won pro se. I had a 2-day, basically like a trial, but for an injunction, right? And I won my injunction. And then once I won my release, they came and started doing what's called diesel therapy, and they would move you from cell to cell to cell. And there was no reason for them to move me. And so I refused. I'll upload this video sometime. I got it. It's very short, but they come to the cell, and they'd already been there, but the sergeant shows up with the guy filming, and he says, Frank, come cuff up. I said, no. He said, come cuff up. This is your last chance. And I said, or you're going to be sprayed, he said. And I said, tase me, spray me, do whatever the fuck you got to do. And before I could even finish, he sticks a freaking crowd control ballistic can, the big like bear spray thing, sticks it through the tray slot. I'm in a locked room, and he hits me, and I was naked too. So hits the whole side of my body, and I refuse to cuff up. He shuts the door. They leave me there. They come back hours later. They got to turn the vents on. They couldn't even stand outside the cell. I was in there. Oh my God, it was the worst experience of my life. I wanted to die. I really did. And they came back, and it was kind of like dying down a little bit. And they're like, you're going to cuff up? I said, you guys are going to have to fucking suit up and come in here and extract me. Next thing you know, because that's what they're supposed to do, the sergeant who pepper sprayed me comes back and he says, I'm here to negotiate. I said, oh, you're here to negotiate, huh? You're here to negotiate. What'd you get? So they ended up letting me go to a completely different tier that I was okay with, instead of trying to put me into what was called I tier, where they have cameras in the cells and it's a punishment type tier. So yeah, anyway, I did 2.5 years in solitary confinement for refusing to shave my beard on religious grounds.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And then winning the lawsuit was the key. I didn't get any money or anything like that.
Right.
But it's the principle. It's the
Yeah.
matter of principle.
So people have beards now in prison.
everybody can have a beard as long as they want now
Yeah.
too. So yeah, they changed the whole policy.
I swear to God, if they touch my Viking haircut, I'm not even kidding. Like in Rhode Island, this guy got arrested.
Mohawks, they do shit. Yeah.
Like rightfully, he went to jail. Maybe, I don't know. Allegedly, he did something wrong, but they use a nail clipper to cut his whole full head of hair because he had the same exact haircut. I don't know if you guys see this. This haircut. My hair is like bad when I have my hat on, but see how it's like shaved on the sides like that? That Viking haircut. They made him. They clipped it off with nail clippers.
They did that with a few guys that had dreadlocks, and you know, I tried to get
It's bullshit.
I tried to get people. This is the problem when you're in prison and you have long sideburns or something. Like they'll put you in solitary confinement for refusing to like follow these orders, and people don't want to lose their visits and all this stuff. They just want to get out, so they're going to do whatever they're told because it's all internally controlled as well. So you go to a hearing there, and it's all jail guards that are running the hearings process. It's you think this is a kangaroo court?
Right.
I stopped even going out to any of those hearings. I said, you guys want to write me up? Yeah, go do your thing. I don't care. I ain't even showing up.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm cold. I want to get going.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Hey, good job today. Really, seriously, good job today. Yeah, in the car. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for.
You want to do more interview questions? Okay.
Stay tuned for April 20th, guys, at 12:45. It'll be day 4 of Frank's Footloose's trial. It's crazy for a misdemeanor. For clapping, guys. For clap. It's so ridiculous.
It was weird though. I'm like, I want Senator Bob Guy to hear.
Something of the trade.
Yeah, he's like, you got a thing. I said, no, I got a personal thing. No, yeah, personal thing. I don't have to tell you.
All right, guys, peace out. Hit that like on the way out if you haven't already. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate all of you. If I haven't called you out, because I put the screen brightness down and all that. So I couldn't really read. I can't really read. I don't want to preserve the battery. All right, guys. Peace out. Concord Police. This is technically not their jurisdiction either, but he's in here to testify or something. Witness. All right, guys. Take care. Hit that like on the way out. Bye now.